Today I'm going to be learning more about Swedish culture, Swedish food in particular, by watching this video. 5 Swedish foods I tried and loved since moving to Sweden, just a Brit abroad. So someone British interested to see what food they enjoyed after moving to Sweden. Tell me if you enjoy these foods too. Let's watch.
For a hot minute now, you guys have been asking me to do a video about the food here in Sweden. But I feel like it's been done before. People have talked about the things that they were surprised by or the things that they found a little bit weird. So I thought I'd take a little bit of a different twist on it today. So yes, today I'm going to be talking about the 5 foods that I've discovered since I moved to Sweden 2.5 years ago that I now absolutely love and cannot imagine life without. And as much as it pains me to say it, I feel like I need to satisfy my own guilty conscience. Today we are considering fika out of scope for this video. The reason for that is I've already done a video where I talked about my favourite fika, which you guys can go and check out. It's well worth your time. But so semla will not be on my list today, as much as it pains me to say it. No, because today I need all of the time that I've got in this video to talk about 5 of the life-changing foods that I've discovered since I moved here to Sweden. So I hope you're ready. It's time to get started. And the item that's kicking off today's list should come with a parental advisory warning for any Italian followers I might have out there, because this might just offend your ears. It's köttfärs sauce on pizza. For those of you that don't know, köttfärs sauce is the Swedish take on bolognese sauce, and though it's more typically paired with pasta, when I came to Sweden I discovered that you can also have it as a pizza topping. Yes, if you go to any of your city pizzerias, you are bound to find the köttfärs sauce pizza, which is commonly paired with some type of salami, an onion, and then a whole pile of mincemeat. I should probably widen this item to include any type of Swedish pizza, to be honest, because there are some great variations out there that I would never thought of myself. I've never seen in any other country before. I mean, what about kebab pizza, for example? That was one of my first loves when I first moved here to Sweden. Well worth a try. Don't judge until you have. And to be honest, the secret here has got to be that the Swedes just take pizzas further than they have ever been before. They are more daring than the rest of us. They put all sorts of foods that you would never have thought should be combined on top of a pizza, and somehow it works. And just like with any experiment, you are bound to end up with some outliers that are probably best left in the test laboratory. Sadly, Sweden didn't get the memo for that, so you will find on the menu for most pizzerias a pizza that has banana and pineapple on top. And I can just imagine the Italians out there twisting and turning in their beds if they heard about this. I have to admit, the idea of fruit on pizza is a step too far for me. It's absolutely sacrilegious, and the idea that banana gets a place at the top of that list is horrifying. But as I said, this is supposed to be a list of Swedish foods that I absolutely love, so we'll park that for another day. And from there, we'll move swiftly on to one of my earliest discoveries here.
Okay, like the bolognese pizza, that sounds good to me. Like, I'll definitely try that, get some of the minced beef and the bolognese sauce. I can't see how that would not taste good. So tell me how popular is that in Sweden? Is it uniquely Sweden? I've never seen it anywhere or heard of it anywhere else, but maybe in other northern European countries it's also popular. I don't know. Banana on a pizza, yeah, that seems a bit too much for me. I actually really like pineapple on a pizza, and I also had recently peach on a pizza. It was like bacon and peach. I just seen it on the menu and I thought I'm going to try that just to see what it's like, and it actually ended up being super nice. But those are like, I don't know how to say, more like sweet fruits. Banana seems a bit weird, the texture of it and stuff like that, but have you ever tried banana on a pizza? I never even knew that would be a thing, but yeah, tell me if it's good
here
or
in
not.
Sweden, and number 2 on my list today, it has to be rödbet salad. Rödbet salad is exactly what it says on the tin. If you translate it to English, it's beetroot salad, and it doesn't sound like it should be as good as it is. Because don't get me wrong, even back in England I had beetroot on a salad before, but the Swedes take it to the next level. Instead of just having chopped up beetroot with a load of plant leaves, what they do is something that can only be described as the beetroot equivalent of potato salad. Because here in Sweden they have had the brainwave to take that mashed up beetroot and they mix it up with a lot of onion, a dollop of mustard, some creme fraiche, among other things, and they make this beautiful concoction which I wish we could have all year round. And whilst it is available for sale all year round in the supermarkets here, it's kind of frowned upon to have it when it's not Christmas time. I mean, sure, it's acceptable to buy it on top of a köttbullemacka in some konditori or in a cafe in town, but if you're just going to buy a tub of rödbet salad, you should probably wait until the week or 2 before Christmas. And as much as I crave this beautiful concoction the whole year round, I kind of also respect the fact that the Swedes also also recognise that this is a cultural phenomenon and it deserves to be saved for the best occasions of the year. That said, I can't tell you that I would be disappointed if the lasting legacy of this very video was that this week there was a quadruple uplift in the sales of rhubarb salad across the whole of Sweden. So once you're done watching this very video, chuck on your shoes, head down into town and pick up your tub of rhubarb salad. I guarantee it's going to be the best night of the year. You will not be disappointed. And from one herb tea.
Yeah, I like that because I love potato salad. That's one of my favourite things. Not something I eat very often, but if I see it somewhere, like in the supermarket or something, I'll usually buy. That one sounds tasty. Again, like how common is that eaten in Sweden? It's not, again, it's one of these things I've never seen that anywhere else, so very uniquely Swedish, I think.
Classic to another one. The third thing on the list of foods that I just absolutely love since I moved to Sweden is pickled herring. Despite the rumours, pickled herring isn't something that you have every week or even every month in Sweden. It's usually reserved for the special occasions. They whip it out at midsummer, at Easter and at Christmas, but it's well worth the wait. And just like your typical international, I have to admit to the fact that to begin with, I was kind of sceptical about the idea of having pickled herring on my plate. And not to brag or anything, but I like to consider myself a bit of a success story in this space. Because before I started coming to Sweden, I'd not eaten fish in years. It just wasn't something that I wanted in my diet. And then the very first time I came to Sweden to visit my girlfriend and her family, they presented me with this plate with pickled herring on it. It was the first fish that I'd had in several years, but actually it surprised me. And the thing that surprises me most with pickled herring is that it's actually really diverse. There's so many different variations you can create for all different types of tastes. So if you don't like the original, perhaps try something a bit more controversial or a bit more contemporary. And one that I can very much recommend was something I tried for the first time this past Christmas. Curried pickled herring. To be honest with you, I'm a sucker for anything with curry seasoning, so the idea of adding it to seal just made a dish even better. The fourth thing that makes this list of food...
Yeah, pickled herring, that's the one I see mentioned a lot on food videos about Sweden. It's not something I've tried. Again, I said before in a previous video, I like pretty much anything that is pickled, usually pickled vegetables, different things, pickled cucumber, kimchi, things like that. So I would definitely try that. But yeah, what's your favourite variation? Again, I'm probably similar to him. I love curried things as well, so that would be definitely something to try. I wonder how the pickled flavour mixes with the sort of savouriness of the curry. Yeah, what other variations are there?
Foods that I've fallen in love with since moving to Sweden is one that I feel like is a bit of a cop-out, but I couldn't not include it. It's something that usually accompanies the Friday night tradition here in Sweden of fredagsmys, where you have like a really cosy evening, perhaps in front of the TV, with lots of snacks. And I have to admit that when you get the crisps out, I'm not someone that gets particularly excited. Like, it does the job, it serves its purpose, but I can do without crisps. If I didn't have them for a year, I wouldn't be disappointed. But the game changer for me, and the fourth thing that makes my list today, is what you serve with the crisps. It's the dip, because the Swedes buy their dip in a powder form, and there's about 300 different varieties that you can choose from in any regular supermarket. And then they get home and they pair it with gräddfil, which is basically cream that's been pasteurized, cream that's gone off, that creates this really nice base that you then put your dip into. And if you haven't tried this before, guys, this is well worth your time. So jump down to your local supermarket, pick up your powder, pick up your gräddfil, mix them together, leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours, and then get it out when you're about to watch TV with your crisps. I'm actually getting quite hungry just thinking about this one. Good thing we've now reached the fifth and final thing on the list of Swedish foods that I just absolutely love, because I think I need to go make myself a snack in a moment. But I really couldn't finish this video without talking about Swedish pies. And I know what you guys are thinking. This is a bit of a fraud entry, because Britain is famous for its pies. And if you're thinking that right now, you wouldn't be wrong at all. In the UK, we have lots of different types of pies. They come surrounded in pastry, this kind of stew-like substance, and then you have a puff pastry lid that goes on top. But I have to admit to you that I wasn't really bothered about pies when I was in the UK. I just didn't really get the point of it. And that's why for me, the Swedish pie really deserves its place on this list. It has totally converted me. I will always choose a pie now. I think it's just because the style is so different. They don't really cover the top. The pastry just goes around the outsides, so you can see the contents, and it's a soft pastry instead of a puff pastry, which I really prefer. And if you're wondering what some of my favourites are, I really recommend a kale pie, a broccoli pie, a taco pie, even a ham and cheese. Why not go classic? All very much worth your time, all very much enjoyable. And now that we've all worked up a bit of an appetite, I think it's high time that I finish this video before you abandon it, so that we can go to the kitchen and find ourselves a snack. But before I leave, I really want to know from you guys what you think about the 5.
Yeah, I do feel like a pie now as well. Like, I love pies. I got to say, I love British pies as well. I like the lid on top of it, because that's one of the best bits, when it gets like covered in sauce. Can like take the lid off and just eat that on its own, super nice. or eating it together. Just gives that extra pastry, which I enjoy. So interesting list. Some of the things not heard of before, like that dip a dry powdered dip that you mix with cream. That just sounds so good, and like, yeah, so flexible. You get so many different flavours there as well. So tell me your favourite on that one. Yeah, tell me if there's any other good Swedish food that you would recommend. Tell me in the comments. Thanks.